Hey there, movie fans. The first thing I'm going to talk about is all the Aquaman 2 drama that's come out. Let me say this. This sucks for this movie because this movie has constantly had negative press like the Flash movie, where you had the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp legal battle situation. You had the fact that you've had reports online saying Aquaman and Lost Kingdom have gone through 3 rounds of reshoots, which is I've never heard any movie going through that many rounds of reshoots. And I know James Wan came out and defended that, saying, "No, it's because of actors' schedules when it came to scheduling all the actors." Which I don't know if I completely buy that. And look, we'll wait and see whether the movie turns out to be good or not when it actually comes out in theaters. That does make me worry a little bit about the movie. But here's what they've said. They describe a hostile Aquaman set where an alleged intoxicated Jason Momoa dressed like Depp and pushed to have her booted from the role. It says here a reputable declined the comment, but a DC spokesperson pushed back on her characteristics, saying Jason Momoa conducts himself in a professional manner at all times instead of Aquaman while skin. Others echo the sentiment. Jason works his ass off and likes to have a beer once in a while, like everyone, but doesn't show up drunk to set. Says an insider who was on the line and said that 2021 added that the two stars get along and was seen joking together, and he isn't dressing like Johnny Depp. He is always dressed up premium style. I will say that he does dress like Johnny Depp. Like I've seen, like when you see him in videos and interviews, he does look like he dresses like the same type of clothes like Johnny Depp. When it comes to when it comes to Hood saying this about him, the reason I don't believe this is because it's saying it's only coming from Ho, from that one source. It's not coming from multiple sources. Like you don't hear other cast members or the director saying Jason Momoa acted like the sunset. Now, I will say this: I wasn't on the set of Aquaman 2. I don't know Jason Momoa, so I also have to keep that in mind. But Amber Heard is not exactly the most credible source. And look, I'm not a fan of her with Johnny Depp when it came to that whole situation. But I'm more on like believing aside from the multiple sources saying that Jason Momoa was very professional on set. I mean, he probably likes to have fun on set. He does come off like a party dude, but I just don't buy that he was so drunk when the source is Amber Heard. And then the other parts of this is saying, because she makes some comments about James Wan, the director, too, saying wasn't the only Aquaman principal to land the crossfires. Debbie says, in Austin's opinion, appears to have heard feeling unsupported by the film's director James Wan and treated like a private because of a high-profile legal battle for ex-husband. He raised his voice to me. I can't even post about Aquaman. Made it like it was my fault. I said, "I'm sorry." He says, in reference to Wan, nobody could take selfies with me on the set given blackout. Wan declined comment. DC spokesperson says James is known for treating members of his cast and crew with the utmost respect and for fostering a positive collaborative environment on set. Aquaman films with no expectation. And when it comes to like firing shots at the director, well, I don't believe that either. That James Wan, the director, would have like he would treat his co-stars like that. Now, if he did, if he did, then that's wrong to do. And the same thing, Jason Moore did show up drunk and was trying to get a fire. No matter how much you hate a person, you shouldn't show up drunk at work. When it comes to the Jason Wan part of it, I don't believe that either because again, it's coming from hell, one source. Like you don't hear any other actors saying James Wan. Hear any other actors where they were treated badly by James Wan, or that he created like a hostile work environment on the set of Aquaman 2. Like it's all coming from just hell. So that's why I don't believe personally that James Wan and Jason Momoa acted like this. But like Jason Momoa, I don't know James Wan, so I have to keep that in mind too. And then it says she was nearly fired. Sources on both sides tell Variety found Aquaman's release 2018. The studio Wan decided to drop the actress from the sequel due to lack of chemistry with Momoa and sent a letter to Tony informing him of his decision. Former DC film boss Walter Amaya testified in the defamation trial about the issue of chemistry. The sources underscore that move to bounce Hood was unrelated to Depp. It took place before he filed suit against the actress in 2019. Likewise, Momoa was not involved in decision making. But another source pushed back on the lack of chemistry narrative, noting that Hood did a chemistry test with Momoa before landing the role and beat out two other actors who did a similar chemistry test. Ultimately, the studio never pulled the trigger on firing her because of former boyfriend Leon Moss had one of his elongators send a scorched Earth letter to Warner Brothers threatening to burn the house down. That just wasn't brought back for a sequel. Says a source familiar with the behind the scenes battle. Warner Brothers caved moved forward for her, and Moss did not respond to a request for comment. So it just, I mean, this is crazy all the drama with this movie. And like I said, whether the Jason Wall, James Bond stuff was true, I don't know. But it just, this movie just seems like it's just becoming the Flash sandwich. This constant drama you hear when it comes to when it comes to the actors. Again, look, I don't buy that Jason Momoa and James Bond acting like that. But I also, like I constantly say, I don't know them. I wasn't on the set of Aquaman too. But I think Warner Brothers just needs to get this movie out and just move on from the DCU because this seems they just had like a track record in the DCU of having actors that have just had drama that you've heard about, and you definitely need to just, like in my opinion, get the movie out and move on from the DCU. Now, the other stuff I want to talk about is some other DC news, and the first part of the DC news is that there's reports saying that they're going to get rid of all the JSL cast members. You're not going to see Jason Momoa or Gal Gadot back either. Like basically, you're going to recast all the Justice League members for the DC universe. And to me, that fits with what James Gunn said in his previous comment. He said nothing is canon. And I honestly think, no matter what, no matter if Flash did well, even if Flash did really well in theaters, because obviously it just tanked at the box office. And it got good reviews, but didn't get, like, the critics weren't in love with the movie. But even if that movie did do well at the box office, I still don't think you would have seen Ezra Miller back. And I think the same thing with Jason Momoa. Whether Aquaman 2 does well or not, which I don't personally think it will. I think people are just want to move on to the new DC universe. I just I think you need to recast the Justice League members. And this also, to me, makes me feel more like, okay, they're going for more, at least more of a hard reboot than just a soft reboot. Now, obviously, they're keeping Peacemaker, Vigilante, and Amanda Waller and Blue Beetle. And the argument could be, well, you know what, Peacemaker and Amanda Waller and Vigilante, they were supporting. They were, like Vigilante was a supporting character in the show. Peacemaker, was part of a ensemble in the Suicide Squad movie. Obviously, he was the lead character of his own show, but not everybody watches, the TV shows. So they're more like minor characters. But I think with Justice League members, you need to recast them, definitely. So to me, this fits what James Gunn's saying, nothing's canon, and it makes sense to me why you would not bring any of them back. Because I don't think Gal Gadot's going to be back, like I said. I think her as Time as Wonder Woman is done. I know there's been conflicting reports about her being back or not, but I honestly don't think she's going to be back. And I think the same with Jason Momoa. Now, when it comes to Jason Momoa, I do think he'll be back not as Aquaman, but as Lobo. Like the other part of this report is saying that Jason Momoa is in talks to play Lobo. Now I know a lot of fans said he'd be perfect as Lobo, and I agree. Like you look at some of the characters he's played in his movies, it's like he was born to play Lobo. And I think this also lines up with the fact that Jason Momoa, I remember put up a video a while ago where he talked to Peter Safran and James Gunn. He came out meeting with them, all excited, but he didn't want to reveal what it was about. And I know he's a big fan of the Lobo character, so I definitely think he's going to come back in the new DC universe. And the report says he'll maybe pop up in Superman Legacy or in his own movie. The way he pops up in Superman Legacy or his own movie, who knows? But I do think he'll come back as Lobo in the new DC universe, just not as Aquaman anymore. And if he doesn't play Lobo, I think he'll be part of the new DC universe as some other character. Because I can see James Gunn working with some of these actors again, but just as different characters. And I think it would be just, like I said, perfect casting. Now, when it comes to the next part of this is where I think the future of DC becomes uncertain again. Is they're saying, reports are saying that Warner Bros. Is going to be bought maybe by Universal in 2 years. Yeah, this is like it seems like every studio, it seems like everybody's wanting to buy Warner Brothers because you had AT&T that bought Warner Brothers, you had Discovery who's just bought Warner Brothers, and if Universal buys Warner Brothers, who knows what's going to happen with James Gunn's plan of the DC universe? Because a new person that comes in might want to do something completely different. And this is also why, in my opinion, you need Superman Legacy to be good, not divisive like Man of Steel, where people were very divided on the movie and it didn't perform as well as they hoped. But you need to come out with a hit. You need like at least generally for most people to love the movie. Like to me, this is like sink or swim with DC because I don't think they'll get a third shot at rebooting trying to do a DC universe. And I do think the whole if this does happen, unless you buys more money, this definitely makes me feel uncertain about the future of DC again. That obviously who knows if that happens, but like I said, there was a lot to unpack here when it comes to all this trauma with Aquaman 2, all this DC news, and who knows what the future of DC is going to be, honestly. I just hope whatever happens in the future, I hope, that James Gunn plan turns out well. I hope we get some really fun and great movies in the future. Whether Universal, whether one ends up being bought by Universal, and I just hope James Gunn's plan turns out well. So, next thing I want to talk about is the fact that the actor strike is going to continue, and I think it's going to continue into next year. So the latest report is that because I know they had no meeting, and apparently both sides are more divided now on like what they want in the deals. I know with the actors, it has to do with the fact they want the testing against AI, the likeness, and the visuals and streaming. And it just sounds like from the way the talks broke down with the latest report, I think this isn't going to next year with the actors. Like I was hoping after the writers worked out a deal with the studios that the actors would be able to work out a deal with the studios next. But it sounds like, the actor strike isn't going to end anytime soon. And I think it's going to have a huge effect on the movies for the rest of the year because I could definitely see some movies like Doom Part 2 getting pushed into next year because not everybody goes online and watches trailers. I think the acts promoting the movies definitely helps the box office. So I think I could definitely see some movies get pushed into next year, like Doom Part 2. I think Aquaman 2 is going to stay no matter what. I think Warner Brothers just needs to get that movie out to have a year in between to really promote the new DC universe in 2025. But I do think there's definitely movies this year that could be pushed into next year because of the fact you don't have your actors to promote the movies now. And I hope the actors and studios work out a deal on the next meeting because it just sucks as a movie fan. Because I honestly do think that a big part of the box office is having the actors to promote the movies. So like I said, I think it's gonna have definitely a huge effect this year on the movies that are coming out. The next thing I want to talk about, and this makes me sad as a physical medium person, is that Best Buy is going to stop selling video games and movies. And apparently, they're going to stop selling them online too. This is the part I'm surprised by. They're going to stop selling all that stuff in 2024. Now, this sucks because Best Buy is a place that I always go to physical medium pickups, and it just sucks as a collective physical medium because look, I've always said this about physical medium: it's dying. It's not selling it like it used to. I know Target got rid of some physical medium. I know some Targets got rid of the physical medium sessions. And even when you go to like Walmart, and if you have any Targets that have physical medium left, and Best Buy, you can tell it's kind of shrinking that session. And I just think you have the fact that you have the digital releases now, streaming services. I think a lot of people just do digital releases now. And I think a lot of people order stuff online more than they actually go out in a store to buy a movie. So I'm not surprised by this part. Like I know at some point it's gonna get to a point, and this is my opinion. It's gonna get to a point where you're gonna have to like find these odd boutique shops to find movies, and that everything is gonna be eventually it's gonna get to a point where just everything's gonna be online. Because I know a lot of people do the digital releases more than they actually physically do when it comes to buying movies physically. So I'm not surprised by this. I've always felt like physical medium is pretty much dying, and look, it just sucks to hear this as a physical medium person because I'm always going to be more of a physical medium person than a person when it comes to the digital leases or streaming services. But as a fan, I can see the signs that the physical medium just has been like slowly just dying off. But yeah, it just sucks as a movie fan. So I guess I have to try to find some other places besides Best Buy and in 2020 in 2024 after they stopped selling the movies, because that's really the only reason I went to Best Buy. Otherwise, I have no reason to go there. So it just sucks to hear this news. Until next time, movie fans.